Nick, you have a
You
haircut
don't know.
too.
Yeah, Nick got his.
You got a nice haircut.
Nick got his
You have a
ears
nice
lowered.
haircut. I saw when you turned, I saw the size. I'm like, oh, okay.
No one commented on my haircut.
I didn't realize you got one. I'm
You
sorry.
got a haircut too? On the
No,
sides?
I did not.
I was gonna say I would have noticed that.
I did not. I did not. All right. All right. You guys ready to get this thing rolling?
Oh yeah.
Oh dear. And welcome back, everybody, to the Fifth Line Podcast, episode 20, boys. We're on
We hit
episode 20 of
20.
this new season. Yep.
We've been doing this for 20 weeks. My God.
Time to quit.
Slightly,
Thanks, everybody. It's been nice.
slightly
a lot
more.
better of a lot better of a run than we had with our first go around.
Yes, our first, which we did, I think, like 2 in a row. Then we did like 3 other ones spaced out like months apart or something. Yeah, definitely.
That's
much
real
more consistent
conducive.
now.
That was real conducive to an effective podcast right there.
Yep.
Have
yeah,
2,
totally.
skip a month. Have 1.
You gotta
skip a
keep
month.
the audience waiting.
Yeah,
Nick.
keep them.
Come
Yeah,
on.
you can build suspension, boy. Build
You
suspension.
never know when you're gonna drop another one. Keeps them waiting.
Yeah.
Or keeps us at 5 subscribers. One or the other. You never gonna know.
It's one of those.
No,
yeah.
we have 20.
We have 20
Fucker.
now.
I
we
meant,
have
I
20
meant
now.
that.
One subscriber for each episode this season, gentlemen. There we go.
Although I think like one of them is definitely me.
I think I am one of them too.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's okay. All right. So starting off, old Victor Hedman has got to 500 career points.
Vicky
So,
Hedman.
That's pretty sweet. Yep.
Look at him go.
His career, he is now 111 goals, 394 assists, 505 points in 792 games. So it's pretty good points per game.
Makes sense.
It wasn't great at the beginning of his career. So he's picked
Yeah, I remember him starting slow.
he's picked it up quite a bit in the last few years. He's been a Norris candidate, I think, like 5 years in a row or something.
He and Petrie have been carrying my team's deep.
Yeah, you have the top 2 scoring defensemen, I think.
It's nice. No, I don't.
So
I
that's
think
good.
I don't think Petrie's is. He might be top. I don't know. He's
He's
doing.
got a lot of goals.
Yeah.
Hedman does not have very many goals this year. He's only got 6, but he's got 26 apples. So
He's got me 269 fan points this year.
frickin' A. Yeah. That was a good pick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Hetty continues to roll. Anders Lee does not.
Yeah.
Erik.
Yeah, that was.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, so I wasn't watching that game, but I did see him kind of turn awkwardly and fall, and yeah, he's done for the season. Which for the Isles, that's a big loss. I mean, not just because he's their captain, but because he's the guy in front of the net. You know, he's the guy that makes things happen.
Is he their offense?
He's
guy?
the top
Is he
goal
like
scorer
the
as
guy?
well.
Yes, and he's the top. I was gonna say it's either him or maybe Peugeot.
I checked.
No,
I checked
Barzell's always the Apple guy.
Yeah, he's. I checked it, and it's still right now. It's Lee and Brock Nelson tied at 12, I believe.
Oh, Brock Nelson. Okay. Yeah, but so Lee, yeah, like he's the guy. Like the Islanders, I don't know. They don't strike me as a team that like is known other than their fourth line, their Martin, Cizikas, Clutterbuck line. They're not really like a crazy physical team. When you think of just someone who could just like take hits in front of the net and just like, I guess a Brendan Gallagher-esque kind of player. That's Anders Lee. Maybe not as feisty as Gallagher, but he definitely creates a lot of chances. And
Gallagher's like 5'10". He's got to make up for it somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know if he's that tall.
But Lee is the issue is so he's out for the season. I don't know if he can make it back in time for playoffs. That would be something that they have to see rehab wise. So I have a little bit of hope here. So apparently, so he tore his ACL, but there was no other damage to anything around that. So what that means is rehab is going to be a little bit easier. So I don't know, fingers crossed for me at least.
He'll be back.
Maybe, yeah, for playoffs, hopefully. everything goes well, the Islanders make playoffs. That'd be really nice to get him back. But
it's very weird. We're only like 5 weeks, 6 weeks away from the end of the season.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
far off.
We're not very far from the end of the regular season. And I don't know what the plan for playoffs is. It could be anything. I don't know if it'll start, like 1 week after the end of the regular season or 2 weeks. So he may have enough time, because 6 weeks, although it's not a lot to us, for professional athletes with professional like staffs and everything to help them.
Yeah, they heal hella quick.
yeah.
Yeah, they're and yeah, with surgery as well, because that's like instant repair. Now you just got to learn to use it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
an
exactly.
answer: Stanley Cup playoffs start on May 11th. So like a month and a half. Right now.
So
Wow.
May 11th, which is 3 days after the end of the regular season. So something tells me there's no bubbles, boys.
Yeah.
But honestly, by then I wouldn't. Well, actually, I was gonna say by then I wouldn't be surprised if all the players that wanted it had the vaccine. But
I don't know how that's working.
I don't know if they'll get it because of those side effects that take you out for a couple days, or that could take you out for a couple days.
Depending on the type of vaccine.
Because a couple days for some of these teams is going to be very important coming down to the end here.
Mm-hmm.
So
the one wrinkle with the playoff structure that I will be interested to see is I don't know how, because I know things are kind of improving in Canada in terms of opening up a bit, because I saw actually Montreal submitted a plan for 2,000 fans to
Nice.
Fat lot of good. Borders closed. I can't go. So
fly across, bud.
I could, but I don't know if I have the money and or time to go across in quarantine
True.
for 14 days to go to a hockey game.
True.
But
Oh, I forgot you had the quarantine still.
it's gonna be. I don't know how it's gonna work with the Canadian, whatever Canadian team makes it out of the second round. I don't know how the transition from that is gonna work.
True.
Like I don't know where they're gonna play or how.
Because you won't. I think I think's gonna happen, and I hate to say it, but I think whatever Canadian team makes it out is gonna be playing 0 home games in the playoffs in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah.
And then whoever they play against is gonna play 7 home games.
Yeah.
Max. But yeah, that could be unfortunate. On to a defenseman that Nick is very familiar with. Erik Karlsson.
Yes.
Says he's unhappy in San Jose, and I don't blame him, because he got there and then it just started to go downhill. Because if you remember, they were rolling that year.
They were
one of the top teams, and then they traded for Erik Karlsson, and I was like, oh my God, they are gonna be terrible to play against. And then the next season, they sucked.
and immediately strapped a boat anchor to themselves with his contract. But
oh yeah, that's a bad one.
Well, the 4 or 5 contracts
All
they have
those-
there. It's Burns,
It's all
him,
old people.
Vlasic, and
I'm trying to find that tweet as we speak here.
it's in our messages.
Yeah.
It's
not too far down the line.
But
it's
basically
4 or
what
5
happened-
older guys that are making like 40-something
Oh,
million. or
Andy
something.
Vander Kane, yeah.
Evander. Oh, yeah.
So, come the year 2025, the San Jose Sharks will still be paying $41.5 million to the following group of 5 players: 35-year-old Logan Couture, which I wouldn't worry too much about him. Who knows? He could
Could
drop
be okay.
off.
Out of anybody on that list, he's probably the least of the worries.
Right. 33-year-old Evander Kane. I don't know what the fuck Evander Kane is at this point. That could end up being okay.
He's not even going to be playing by 2025. I'm calling it now.
34-year-old Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson's already having as many issues as he has right now with all of his legs and all that jazz. I don't know how much 4 more years is going to help. 40-year-old Brent Burns.
40.
And 37-year-old Marc-Edouard Vlasic, who already isn't very
He's
good.
already been on a downhill.
He.
I would.
But basically, Carlson publicly came out and was like, yeah, I don't want to go through another rebuild like I had to in
for 10 years.
Ottawa for 10 years. Yeah,
Uh,
which I don't blame him either.
Yeah, no, I
But
mean,
haha, fuck you. You could have stayed on an up and coming team, you dumbass.
dude, imagine if he was still there. That actually would be interesting.
What would he see like at that?
What
point
would he
in time,
be though?
What was he seeing that would make
What
him?
would
think
Karlsson
that he
be?
was going
Karlsson would be. He would be.
But basically,
a
with
top
all those
defenseman,
trades
probably?
plus with all those trades plus the Karlsson trade, that's where they got all the picks they
And all
have
of the stuff
and
that
used to get
stuff.
all these young guys. So.
Yep. So yeah, I say keep it the way it is because in 3-4 years, I think the Sens are going to be something to watch.
He could have signed back though, because he was a free agent there, right? He signed with San Jose as a free agent, and he did contemplate re-signing with Ottawa.
Yeah, the trade was they traded him with a year left on the contract. He played a year in San Jose
and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to stick it out." I would. Real
you should have seen the writing on the wall, though. Like that team was getting older, and we can all look at it and say, okay, that team is getting older, not doing anything. Martin Jones is atrocious.
Okay.
Devin Dubnyk isn't a whole lot better.
Nick,
and plus, they also got rid of Joe Pavelski. Like Joe Pavelski was the heart of that team for how long, and then he just decided to leave.
A quick rebuttal to everything you just said. When they made that when they made that trade, or when he signed that deal, they had one down year. Martin Jones was still doing all right at that point. Joe Pavelski had sucked balls the year before he left, and then he got revived in Dallas.
And revived, he didn't even really do all that well in the
regular
season.
Up until the playoffs.
Crushed in the playoffs, and that made everybody.
And then now he's doing really well again. So
yeah, he's having a good year now.
But real quick, before anything else, I'd like to tell you the stats because I got some stats for you.
We got stats.
So Erik Karlsson right now on the Sharks, he's played 134 games with them. 11 goals, 84 assists for 95 points, which is not that bad. It's 0.7 points a game.
How many points in
95 in 134.
Yeah, that's good. The problem is
that's really not bad.
Him and Brent Burns are half of their top four, and both of them play about the defense of like half of a defenseman.
Yep.
So
the only reason I looked it up was because I thought that Karlsson was one of the reasons that they weren't doing great, but it's not.
Maybe he get points. These are
interesting little tidbit as well. He had a 0.8 points per game with the Sens. So he outperformed himself on the Sens when he was younger, which makes sense. But yeah, does anybody have anything else to say on the Karlsson thing?
That
if they don't get another goalie, then they're going to be fucked even worse. So
they could use another goalie. Yeah,
there's a lot of teams that are like that.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I was wearing this.
I don't think a goalie is going to solve the Buffalo situation.
No, there's a lot of problems there. I just want
a lot more than that
with all of the Buffalo fans.
In solidarity.
Honestly, I think my boy Allmark could definitely solve the Sabres situation right now.
Yeah, and that's what their saving grace is. He's been injured. Yeah, he hasn't played for a long time now.
Did you?
In like playing in games, he was actually like keeping them in games, and
that's what I'm saying. That's the joke that Allmark can fix their problems, but it goes much deeper than that.
Well, basically, like
finishing last, they'll finish third to last.
Yes,
it's like if Allmark was there, they wouldn't have skidded. They wouldn't have lost 12 straight. He would have at least stole one of those and broke that streak, which leads us into this next conversation about Krueger getting fired. Had Allmark been there and they somehow won a game within that 12-game skid, it probably would have saved Krueger's job at least till the end of the season. I'm not saying it would have lasted after that.
For a bit,
but now the Pagulas have to pay Krueger severance on firing him and also pay a brand new coach.
Yeah. So I think it was pretty obvious that they didn't want to like make that firing because they let it get to a 12-game losing streak before they fired him. But like,
please just win one, please.
At that point, like, you gotta, I think, like a 12-game losing streak, a 12-game, like, I don't know. I like, it's hard to really argue with that, but it did sort of seem like they wanted to have it not happen until the end of the year if it was going to happen. But I don't think they were counting on being quite this astronomically terrible.
It's really not good. Here, I have a I have something to. Here it is. I don't know if you saw, but Danielle sent me something on Twitter a couple days ago. They signed goaltender Michael Hauser to a 1-year deal. $700K. Like, first I was like, who's that? And then she said, look at the replies. And it's just a bunch of, I'm assuming, Sabres fans. This one's like, this dude literally doesn't even have a hockey reference page. One is one reply.
Everybody has hockey reference pages.
One reply just simply says Zamboni driver. Like they do not. That fan base is just so dead inside. It's insane.
I mean, how would you not be?
I know. I don't blame them, but like, geez, it's like, so
hats
bad.
off to anybody still being like, yeah, I'm a Sabres fan.
Yeah.
Like
Danielle, hats off to you, Danielle.
Yeah,
Danielle,
hats off.
I'm sorry. I hope you get better soon, because like at this point, it's not even fun. There was a while there where it's like, fuck yeah, Buffalo, they're so bad, haha, whatever. But that was like for like the first 5 years of this.
That was just.
And then the 5 years after that, it was like, what do you guys? You have Eichel now. What do you? And then now it's just like.
It was, you have Eichel now, and then a couple of years later it was, now you have a number 1 pick, Rasmus Dahlin.
Which they really like. What did they do to him? Like
I don't know. They made him live in Buffalo, I guess.
I guess
that's bad. Sorry, everybody from Buffalo. I'm not saying it sucks there, but it seems like it may.
The hockey environment appears to, at least, because holy shit.
All they care about is football. Clearly, it's the same owners for the Bills and the Sabres.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I don't know
if you're gonna pick one. If you're gonna pick one team to invest money into, I would pick the football team.
In America, yes. But can I hear what Ben was? Can I hear what Ben was saying? Because he was saying something.
They seem to very much care, though. That's the thing. Like that's part of their problem is they're trying to have their hands in every damn thing. Like they're not hands-off owners with the Sabres. Whereas from everything I know about, which is admittedly very little, about the Buffalo Bills, like they seem to have like kind of let their team, their team of managers with the Bills just kind of do their own thing and build from the ground up. But they have had their hands in basically like so many moves. And one of the worst clips I've seen was, I think it was Terry Pagula. It was like one of those behind the scenes like shows that like teams do around draft days or whatever. And I think it was around free agency. It was Terry Pagula being like, oh, well, if we sign Taylor Hall, I mean, forget making the playoffs. We're going for the cup. And I just heard that. And I'm like, oh no, if this is how they're thinking and they're like always have their hands in things.
Yeah, it's like
no. This is not.
It's similar to the Sens last few years, right? Doesn't their owner get involved a little too much?
I think he just doesn't like spending money too much.
Dumb.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, but, I mean,
hopefully, also like Kevin Adams in Buffalo does not have a chance. Like he's literally never held a manager job before. He just got thrown into that without any assistant GMs and there's no like hockey president of hockey ops, and that is a team that desperately needs one to just kind of tell the owners to fuck off for a second. They need somebody to do that. But
so yeah, before this, Ralph Krueger coached soccer.
Well, he basically had no limited to no NHL experience coming in, or like proven experience anyway.
He coached Edmonton.
Good idea.
For a couple years. In like the early 2010s, but that was also a situation where he was thrown into a dog shit team. Like I don't doubt that Ralph Krueger could probably coach a team fairly well. Like he was the ones that got that
team.
A good team. Europe. He was the ones that coached team. Well, like he coached Team Europe to the finals in that World Cup in 2016, and like he got them. I don't know why you would go with him for Buffalo. The situation,
I don't think it's that he's a bad coach either.
Like, yeah, like why would you go with the guy who like is kind of like an experiment at coach? Like
no one else wanted to go.
I mean, that's also probably part of it.
like what I think Nick was about to bring up the Instagram post you guys sent us with Ristolainen, saying that he thinks it's not necessarily the coach, it's more the players he thinks, but you can't fire a player.
Was that what you were going to bring up, Nicholas?
No, well, yeah, in a way. I wasn't going to say that, but you put him. I don't think he's a bad coach anyway. It seemed like all the players, clearly from the Ristolainen post, they like the coach. He's not a bad guy. Like,
that Jeff Skinner probably didn't like him.
Yeah. Well, if Jeff Skinner could play a little bit better, he'd be in a better situation. Sure. That's kind of all his fault. So,
sure.
I don't really know. That's still an enigma to me.
Before I forget about it, I wanna give you guys a nice tidbit about the Senators, how type of situation they're in right now. So currently they're on their fourth string goalie. Murray's out. Hogberg's out. Joey Decord got hurt last week, and they brought Philip Gustafsson in to wrap up that game that night. They just signed Anton Forsberg off of waivers, so now he is going to be starting against Calgary tomorrow night.
Jeez.
Oh
man.
Murray's still week to week.
Nick,
should be back, but yeah.
I mean, like, even if he is not hurt, Murray is like, well, do you want to?
That's like the Golden. Remember their first season in the NHL. Remember the Golden Knights? Just like their first season, they just lost like 4 goalies. Like just like people were going down left and right.
They had.
I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oscar Dansk throwing studies.
Yeah.
Or I don't think he got any shutouts. But
well, I was gonna say
anyway.
that's the only difference though, that the Golden Knights somehow they bring in these random goalies and they were playing kind of well. The Senators, I don't know.
I don't know about the Senators.
Yeah, that's crazy. I saw the Decord injury. It was like a muscle thing, right? Isn't he out for the season or something?
Yeah, he's out. He's out for a while. The only one that looks like he's coming back anytime soon is Hogberg, and he's not anything good either.
Hogberg,
so
yeah,
he has a fun name though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've transitioned into it. Let's talk about the North. Let's talk about the Scotia North.
North Division. It's a fucking mess.
It is messy in there. My days. So we've got Toronto and Edmonton each up top with 42. Winnipeg right behind them with 38. Montreal right behind them with 37. And then Vancouver and Calgary at 35 and 33 respectively. So the entire top 6 is within 10 points right now.
Jesus.
9 points, actually. So
who would have thought the Habs would have, through all of this, they've actually moved back within striking distance of Toronto? How?
Yeah,
Toronto's been bad.
Toronto's been
skidding.
Yeah, 4-6-0 in their last 10. So they're actually below 500 in the last 10. So.
I think they finally just got Jack Campbell back too, which is going to help them because he's
he's good.
Better than Freddie right now.
I think
he seems to have just overtaken the starter spot at this point because he got that 2-0 win against whoever they just played last. I can't remember. But he was
Winnipeg. Winnipeg.
There you go.
The peg.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I mean, there was always that argument about are they going to re-sign Anderson after the end of this year? He might just be making that choice for them. Like,
I think it does.
Yeah, but do you want to dump your eggs into the Jack Campbell basket? I mean, yes, he is playing good this year, but Jack Campbell is not a here, go play every single game as our starter.
Been a starter before.
That's a real nice last name, though.
Could they, if they kept themselves in a situation like they are now, like if they run it just the same way Montreal's doing with a proven backup or proven guy?
Gary's kind of brought it back around, has actually been going okay.
All right, we'll talk about it.
I'm done trying to figure out what the Habs are because I don't know.
Their team.
They certainly
there
are.
we go.
There you go.
I don't know.
Use your words.
They're in a playoff spot. I got it. They're that. They're in a playoff spot. I guess there's that at least. Very tenuously in a playoff spot, though. I was very happy. Somebody beat Calgary the other night and I think it was Edmonton. Did Edmonton beat them? I don't know. Calgary lost the game and kept them off their backs. It might have been the Leafs. They need to start figuring out ways to put away games that they aren't right now. Like last night's game, Eric, you said you were watching it?
Okay, so yeah, real quick, I just want to say, I've never seen them play 3-on-3. They at least looked positionally sound, even if they couldn't really generate too many chances. And Carey Price in that shootout, wow.
He came up big.
Yes, incredible.
He came up huge, which was good because in the game,
yeah,
he didn't.
I think 4 goals on 14 shots, something like that.
Oh boy.
I got 5 points for him in fantasy on a win.
That
I got 5 points for him on
total?
A win. Yeah.
Because 5 points is what you get for a win. So before that game ended, he was at 0.0 fantasy points.
I think it might have been like 5.4 or some shit.
That is real bad.
It wasn't great, but before last night, he has actually been more dialed in recently. I wonder what his save percentage is at now. Because remember, it was 898 for a while there. What is it at now?
Yeah, I know him and Bobrovsky were two highest paid and too low. They were too low for how much money they're making.
I mean, it's up to 903 now.
Hey,
it's in the 900s. He's still got some work to do to bring it back from where it was, obviously, but he's been looking more and more solid, which has been good. Kakaniemi's been really coming on, which has been nice. They just lost Tyler Toffoli to injury, which is awesome.
That is unfortunate.
Going back to what I was saying with last night's game in particular, they were crushing Vancouver in just about every aspect of the game. Like they were, I think you were watching, Eric, like they were getting all the zone pressure you could possibly. Yep. They were doing all the things right, everything they could. And then they would just periodically just forget how to play hockey for like a minute or two. And Vancouver would get 2 goals. Like they went into the second period up 1-0. And then I don't really remember Vancouver's goals in the second period that well, but I know they got 2, and they came out of the second period up 2-1. And then they go into the third. Habs, scratch that. They didn't come out. They went up 2-1. Habs ended up getting 2, went up 3-2 before the end of the second. All right, looking great. Gonna keep pushing, right? No. Third period starts. 20 seconds in, Vancouver Canucks score. Like 30 seconds later, Vancouver Canucks score again. And I'm just like, guys, just play hockey for a second, man. Like they look so good some of the time, and then like 15% of the time just look so bad. And I don't know what it's gonna take for them to just eliminate that. I think it might just be part of what it is this year because they're relying heavily on two of their top 3 centers right now are Suzuki and Kakaniemi, 2 very unproven young guys that still have a lot to learn. And just by the nature of that, you're going to lose a lot of games. But they got our hopes up so much in the first 3 weeks of the season.
They were playing real well at the beginning.
I don't know. I've kind of just resigned myself to just being like, all right, I'm just going to watch each game and just kind of take it for what it is and just ride with it, see what happens. The standings where they are right now are so friggin' close in Canadian division. There could be so much different kind of movement for the rest of the season. And I'm just going to watch these games and have fun with the wins when I can. And that's
with Toffoli. You think since Toffoli just went out, the deadline's this week, isn't it? Trade deadline's this week, right?
No, I think it's first week of April at some point.
No. But it's coming up regardless. You think they're gonna make a move?
I don't think so. I think their move is gonna be Cole Caulfield when his college season's done.
Ooh.
I think that's what's gonna be.
Cole.
Young Bloods has been working for the Senators. It could work for your guys too. Just roll right in and like Stützle played like. Yeah.
I want to get his stats. I know he had something stupid in the regular season.
Yeah, I saw.
In his most recent game,
it was dumb.
I think in his most recent game, he got the OT winner for his team in the playoffs.
Very nice.
Hockey stats. And this year, in 30 games played, he has 28 goals and 21 assists for 49 points.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like back in the day, friggin' Gretzky numbers
Like, I mean, it's college hockey
in the NHL.
But,
yeah,
um,
he is.
He's like the one thing the Habs. I mean, they need a few things, but like the one thing they've needed for a long while is somebody who's just like a pure goal scorer. They haven't had. I mean, they had Patch, but they relied way too heavily on him and then traded him. So it like having Cole Caulfield. I mean, he could end up being a bust, but everything I'm seeing makes me excited, and I would love to see him on the power play, setting up 1-Ts all day, baby. Or no, he's receiving the 1-Ts rather.
Stepping into him.
Yes.
Wait, I thought you said he was a net front guy.
No, he's not.
Small.
He was. They were using him.
Oh,
That's
okay. I had that mixed up.
He got misused in World Juniors, and everybody was like, "Oh, Cole Caulfield's terrible." I'm like, no, they're just not doing the one thing that he does amazingly. Like they're like not using him for the one thing that is his thing, which was frustrating. But
so we've learned that Ottawa has moved on to their 4th string goalie.
What else has been going on?
Other than that, what's going on?
Not a whole lot. They're still losing.
Yeah.
We break down the North Division and we don't even bring them up in the stats because they're what 22 points right now or something like that.
23.
So they're not playing that good. I know, like the question right now is what they're gonna do with Logan Brown. So they have him down in Belleville, and they drafted him a couple years ago, and he was supposed to be like a stud center for them. And now they have like their center spots kind of filling up, and they're like, what are you gonna do with him? Because every time they bring him up, he doesn't do anything. And I think he's just one of those players where you just got to get some games under his feet. Because, like, yeah, they'll move him up or send him up for a couple games, send him back down. Like, I can understand how that's not really going to be too successful for you to get it kind of like rolling with a line.
Yeah, if you're switching back and forth.
Like
so that's the biggest question right now with them. But I think, like, I saw something, I want to say it was from Dorian this week, that they're going to use him. They're going to put him on the Stützle Batherson line. So I'm like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, if he doesn't thrive there, then it might be time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, no, I mean, their defense blows ass. So that's what they got to work on. Like, Shabbat's good, but besides Shabbat, it's like,
there's not much else going on there.
Erik Brandstrom's all right too, but he's young. He's like 19. And he's like he makes young guy mistakes. He's bound to.
Yes, but he also scores from center ice. And we love to see that. That was freaking sweet. Okay, yeah. So I think this is the year for Ottawa to try shit. That's what I think. Like, they're not making the playoffs. Just try stuff.
Yeah, and I think like they got guys like Erik Gudbranson on there who like don't do anything.
Yeah.
That they just need to like I don't know what his contract is. I would doubt that it's anything more than maybe next year, because it doesn't seem like they are too committed to older guys. So like shed that weight and try and bring somebody young in. Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, you put too many young guys on a defense, it doesn't bode well for much success.
Yeah,
either.
but I don't know if Erik Gudbranson is the ideal old guy.
No, you know who's the ideal old guy? Someone by the name of Erik Karlsson. Yeah.
Well, wasn't Gorbiecki a defenseman too? He was supposed to captain that team, and then he got traded.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he played defense. They should have kept him.
He signed with Nashville this year, I think. But
he's playing with Nashville, yeah, because he's been a little ass against.
I don't understand why they didn't retain him. Out
of anybody, yeah, he was the one to hold on to, because he can at least like lead that team or be a leader for that team. Like then you roll instead of that you pick up Derek Stefan, who hasn't done jack shit for him, and then rely on your young guys like Kachuk and Shabbat to captain that team. Okay, they're like two years in. You got guys like, now that they got Dzingel back, that's a different story. He can do it too. But like,
that's nice, yeah.
That's what I would think. Like, you want to have like a couple veterans to like just show these young guys like, don't do this, because like, I don't know. That's just a thought.
So Erik Branson's off after this year. You were correct, Nick.
Hey, there you go.
They're paying him $4 million. Why?
$4 million.
Yeah, pay somebody, but
they had to hit that cap floor. Remember, they just had to dump some money on
floor.
people.
Yeah. Alrighty, Erik. Let's go to you, bud.
Moving into the East.
Let's go to the East. Yeah.
Yeah, the East is so the Caps have overtaken the Isles for that number one spot in the East. Yeah, and they did have the big game after the Islanders' stretch of Sabres and Devils games, which they obviously steamrolled those teams.
You got the wins though. That's the important.
Yeah, exactly. They faced off against Washington. It was a 3-1 loss. I did not watch that game, but I know Ovechkin scored from his favorite spot. And the Isles just kind of had just like a lackluster effort. I know, so Dobson and I think Peugeot were both out on COVID protocol. I know Peugeot is back now, but Dobson is still out. But he was out for that Caps game, I'm pretty sure, and that makes a big difference offensively.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously Lee being injured.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That one's gonna hurt.
Yeah. So it was a 3-1 game. I don't know. It's a close game. I wouldn't say the
Caps are good.
So
exactly. Yeah.
With Lee being hurt, are the Islanders going to be in on anything on this?
So that's okay. So I've heard some rumors, and this is just surfing like Twitter.
The best way to find
Twitter
you.
Twitter and Instagram, I think. Yeah, I know. No, but so apparently today there was just something. I don't know if it was in the paper here about Kyle Palmieri and the Islanders trying to get him, which is interesting because he's like a depth guy.
Back around there.
Well, so here's the thing: Lou Lamoriello knows Kyle Palmieri, so there's that relationship there. But the two guys that I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Victor Arvidsson and Philip Forsberg. Both of those names.
Either of those would be nice.
Philip Forsberg's playing good this year.
Yes. So here's the thing, right? Philip Forsberg is playing well, and Nashville is one of those teams where I think Mike, we both agreed on this at the beginning of the season when we were picking our teams that would do some damage. I think we both said I always want to root for Nashville because they were so fun to watch in their cup run there a few years.
I don't remember most of my playoff choices. Do we know?
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna look that up and I'll bring it up in the next episode.
Stand by. Ottawa.
I remember I picked the Rangers to come out of this one.
That's what I'm gonna do, boys, for the next for the episode right before the end of the regular season or right before the playoffs. I'm gonna bring up the answers for you guys. Okay. See how wrong we all were.
Yeah. Oh boy. But all right, so Forsberg and Arvidsson, both those players, if you think about it, if they want to take a deal and like join a team that has a shot at the cup, like that'd be pretty tantalizing.
The Islanders, you could choose the worst team than the Islanders to go to.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. I guess I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really know how all of this works, but like with cap hits and stuff like that, like if the Islanders let's say they sign Forsberg or Arvidsson to like a 1-year deal or whatever, would they come the off season they would have to solve their cap issues, right? That's how that would work.
So when you trade for them this season, you'd be trading for whatever contract they're under this year.
Okay, yeah.
You're not signing anything. Take whatever.
You just take whatever. Okay.
Or you can, like, within trades, if like the Islanders don't have a lot of cap space, you can be like, hey, retain this, and then we'll send you this amount, or we'll send this player with this shitty contract, and that'll make the money balance out.
Okay.
Is how that all works. But,
yeah. So you think Philip Forsberg? That's obviously a really good player. I don't know what the Islanders would have to lose. They obviously it'd be huge, but Victor Arvidsson seems a bit more realistic to me.
I agree.
Just because he is that guy. I mean, like, I don't know. He's I haven't been really watching Nashville, but I know Arvidsson's kind of been this season.
He has been
but maybe being traded could get some life into his play. and he's in the playoffs. I remember he's just that guy. He just can score big goals. I remember he could just like come down the wing and just wind up and fire a slap shot past a goalie or something. He's like kind of that goal scorer that, just a bit of extra offense that the Isles would very much benefit from.
Victor Arvidsson makes $4.25 million a year.
Okay. Ooh, that's a nice little deal.
Yeah.
For another 3 years after this.
That's
as well.
a nice little deal.
Somebody who's locked down to that contract for that long, that might not be the worst thing.
That's a nice little deal. We'll take you on Tampa.
Fuck you.
Dude, come on. My Isles need something.
Philip Forsberg is signed to $6 million a year for 1 more year after.
That's a good contract for Forsberg. He's really good.
Good contract. Just not a lot of term left.
Yeah. Hopefully he can get another one.
Yeah.
He's just got to play good a couple more years.
Yeah, so that's actually.
Can we talk about how the freaking Rangers stomped the Flyers the other night, 9-0?
Yeah.
I was gonna say we got to talk about that.
Flyers are actually bad, right?
Like the Flyers are bad now.
Wait, I gotta set the stage. Sorry, Nick.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Just let me say one thing quick.
Yeah.
So there was a plus-minus stat that I saw somewhere, and I can't remember exactly where it was. But going into the game, it was like, here's all these guys plus-minuses. After the game, it dropped by like 7 for every single one of them. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
so,
I'm looking at them in the standings. The Flyers have a -12 goal differential.
Yeah, it's not good.
9 of that.
The only thing the Flyers really have good going for them right now is Konechny's playing pretty good, but like they are playing.
Joel Farabee's had a great season too.
Is he?
But Erik, set the stage.
Yeah. So here's the stage. So I don't know if you guys knew this, but did you hear about the coaching staff things that happened?
No.
Yes.
Okay, so for the viewers and Ben knows and Mike, Nick, did you hear about this? I don't know if you heard.
No.
Okay, so
I didn't hear about it.
So the Rangers' entire coaching staff was on the COVID protocol list. So before that game, they all could not be behind the bench, so they had to call up the entire coaching staff of the Hartford. What's the name of their minor league affiliate? Yes. So they had to call up the entire coaching staff of that team, and they won 9-0 with that coaching staff. And there's so I know Ranger fans, and Ranger fans do not like their coach, David Quinn. And the one game that he is not behind the bench, they win 9-0.
9-0.
And so that begs the question.
That begs
the question. The Rangers have so much talent and so much firepower, and we all rightfully so. We're like, yeah, they could definitely do some damage or be like a dark horse in the playoffs. So by the end of the season, or maybe sooner than that, do they get rid of David Quinn? That would
to be fair to David Quinn.
It's one game.
It is.
They are now within like sneezing distance of Philadelphia. They're only 3 points back of them. They're 6 points back of a playoff spot. And they've been dealing with all the shit. They've had several goalie injuries, and Panarin wasn't there for a couple weeks. It's been a weird year. I'm a little more lenient when it comes to the Rangers. I'm not going to give them too hard a time just because they've had a lot of shit to deal with, and they're kind of clawing their way back in. They got a better record than the Habs right now. They have less points because they didn't lose all their games in overtime, but
yeah, if you can push it to extra time, that helps.
Yeah, so I do agree with that, Benny. I do, it is just one game, but it is interesting. It is kind of interesting how that happened, and I guess I think after this season it'd be after this season into next season, seeing how if the Rangers continue to trend like this, like just kind of maybe realistically something could happen to the coaching staff, but definitely a team to keep an eye on. I don't know if the Rangers heat up at the right time.
I think it's right now. Most teams have 26 games left. We're about halfway through. I think this is the time right now. So I think Ben, I told you that me and Danielle were thinking about going to Sabres game, or I might have told all you guys.
Oh, you told
you told us.
Oh, did I? So we were thinking about doing that, and we looked into COVID testing at CVS, and if you don't have symptoms, therefore if you are voluntarily going to get it, they say most insurance won't cover it, which means it would be
$110.
It was 140 for us.
Oh, really?
We didn't do it because we were like 140 each for a test, and then $70 for tickets. Plus, we got to drive there and get gas. I was like,
and it's a Sabres game,
and it was Sabres. I would like if we could have done it. If we could have gotten free tests, we would have done it.
Yeah.
But I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want to spend that much, and she was like, yeah, me neither. So we didn't. And then, wouldn't you know, the game gets postponed. So it was yesterday's game.
Shocked if you had paid for that test. And then,
I would have been so freaking mad. I would have.
That would have been
sucked.
Yeah. That would be rough.
Before we jump into the next division, can I just say one thing? I was just thinking of this, and I wanted to say it when we were talking about the Canadian, and I just slipped my mind. So
no, we can't.
We were throwing a little shade at Vancouver. We have been all season long.
It was just the beginning when they got owned.
But they yes, they aren't playing that good, and they're like low in that division. But Thatcher Demko, respect, because that guy is
he's doing it again.
One of the highest fantasy point goalies in the league. He has got a fucking shitload of fantasy points.
Here's another thing you got to think. Vancouver, they're now 2 points behind Montreal, and if you remember the beginning of the season, they were getting shit kicked by Montreal, and they had the second worst record in the division, and they've now clawed back up, and they are essentially neck and neck with Montreal. They do have 4 more games played, so that helps.
I'm very sad now. The Habs are out of games against them. The Habs went 6-0-3 against them. They got 15 of a possible 18 points against the Canucks, and they don't have any more games. Damn it.
Yep. So Vancouver, Vancouver's. I think it may be Demko. Demko might be really helping them out. Right
Brock Besser's definitely helping them too. But Demko, Demko's insane. Brock Besser's got to be one of my favorite players in the league, to be honest. I don't like Vancouver at all, but Brock Besser, ooh,
he's been nice on my fantasy team.
God, and he's hot.
He has some hair, my guy. It's nice. It's nice.
All right, let's talk about my Bolts, boys. I want to talk about my Lightning.
The Lightning, how are they doing?
Yes, they've retaken their mantle of first place in the league.
First place in the league.
First place in the league by 4 points.
Wow.
So suck their balls. 4-win streak. They're 7-2-1 in the last 10. Vasilevsky is on an 11-game win streak currently, which ties the most for the franchise. He ties the franchise record there, so he's got a chance to break it.
If he doesn't win the Vezina this year, then the fucking system's rigged.
Yeah. He's just so unbelievable. And this is what I remember from my early days of watching the Lightning when they weren't doing very well. They could score goals, and their defense was not the best. But what they never had for so many years was consistent goaltending. And
except
then
for Khabibulin.
Yeah, it was in between Khabibulin and it was in between that and Ben Bishop. So Mike Smith was in there. There was somebody else I can't remember.
Karlsson decided to just throw up wasn't they 40 that year? They got to the conference finals against the Bruins. Or he was old.
Man, I don't remember.
Who?
Dwayne Rollison. He was old, but you remember it better than I do. I can't remember things from that long ago about hockey.
I think it was 2011.
Peter Budaj.
He was Bolt for a little while.
Yeah, I think he went to the Bolts after the Habs.
Al Montoya. Was he? I don't know.
Went to the Habs for a second.
Why are you naming old Habs goalies?
I remember all these old Habs goalies.
I don't know, man. They're just coming.
Then you have hard-ons for all these weird ass Habs backups.
Patrick Waugh.
There's been a couple too.
It's just that those two you named happened to be Habs backups. But yeah, he did play with Tampa. Rollison did play with Tampa in 2010, 2011. I think it was that year. He would have been.
Okay.
He's 51 now, so he would have been. Yeah, he would have been 40.
41. But yeah, well. They just didn't have consistent goaltending. And it was up until, and that was the one thing that me and my dad would always say. We'd be like, my God, if we could get a freaking goalie, they'd be insane. They get Ben Bishop comes up, starts doing consistent things, and they
get to a cup
friggin'
final.
roll right to the cup final.
Lose.
And then
Vasilevsky comes in.
Then Vasi comes in and replaces him, and they now in the last 6 years they've been in 4 Eastern Conference Finals.
Could you imagine though, like being the management for that team? Because Bishop was good there. Like, yeah, he got hurt, but like he was playing pretty good before he got hurt too.
Oh yeah, he played.
So
he
like,
was insane.
the stones of their management to say, "Now we're done with Ben Bishop. We're gonna ship him out."
He's got some balls.
Yeah, I mean, he was making room for Vasi, which, you know what, it worked.
Clearly, he saw the writing on the wall that Vasi was better. So good for them that they could do that.
Vasilevsky just, he just doesn't let things in.
Wrinkle to that Vasilevsky as a whole, as a player. Steve Yzerman drafted him with a pick that he acquired from Detroit, trading. Who was the defenseman? Trading some defenseman to Detroit that didn't do shit with Detroit. So that's bad in itself. But Steve Yzerman originally wanted to be GM in Detroit before he is now. But like then it was supposed to happen before he went to Tampa. But Ken Holland basically didn't take a promotion to like the president job, where it's basically you're losing a job to a promotion and somebody else comes in to be GM. That was gonna happen in Detroit. Steve Yzerman was gonna be that. It just didn't, because Ken Holland wanted to keep his job, so Steve
muted.
Oh, he shut his mic off.
So Steve went to Tampa. But imagine if Steve hadn't gone to Tampa and had picked Vasilevsky in that spot for Detroit. Where would Detroit be?
Could be
Detroit
different.
had that goalie and had done all those little things around. Like, I hadn't held on to like so many different guys for like such stupid contracts. Like, who got? I think Glendening got like a multi-year. Like, so many guys got multi-year, multi-million-dollar deals in Detroit that fucked them over so bad. None of that probably would have happened to Steve. Like, it's weird to think if Steve Yzerman had just gotten that job,
had been in Detroit the whole time, it'd be different. It'd be a different story.
It would have been weird because like Detroit wasn't in a bad goalie situation until like 3 years ago. Like, yeah, it was going downhill for them, but they still had, who was it?
Jimmy Howard was
Jimmy Howard. He was all right for a while.
He did okay. He had pretty good career stats actually.
But they always had Mrazek there for a while too, and wasn't Mrazek supposed to be like the next best thing? And then he's okay, right? But like in Detroit, no, he didn't do anything. Like, yeah, he's doing better now, but yeah, I agree, he didn't do well at all in Detroit.
Nope.
Yeah, but that would have been interesting if they would he have even considered it, because if he would have been GM in a team with Jim Howard and Peter Mrazek, who was supposed to be good, like, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you draft a guy.
Well,
maybe.
Okay,
I think he was in like in the third round or something.
Oh,
that is interesting to me. Vasilevsky. When was he drafted? Does anyone know?
2013, I want to say.
Either that or 12.
19th overall in the 2012 entry draft.
Damn it. 19th? Wow, really?
Lightning.
I didn't know he was that high.
20. I'm looking to see. I want to know who their goalie was. I think it was Mike Smith.
In Tampa, you mean?
Dwayne Rollison.
It was still Dwayne Rollison at that point.
Dwayne Rollison and Matthew Guérin.
Oh, yeah.
Guérin.
I remember him.
Oh, interesting. So it seems like Steve Yzerman very obviously like saw goaltending was an issue at the beginning. Acquired Bishop through a trade around the same time as drafting Vasilevsky, or not that long. So it's almost like he actually designed that to be like a gap.
Dude.
Interesting.
He's a genius.
He's a good GM. He's a good GM. Yeah.
He's a genius.
Which is annoying because that means Detroit's probably going to be good soon. And they were good for so long.
Yeah, they did. They had 25 years in a row, plus 25 plus making the playoffs.
Yeah,
they snatched up Troy Stetcher too from Vancouver, didn't they?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, that kid's gonna be good. I think there's a few people in the league that like I just really like, and like I said, Brock Besser's one of them, and Troy Stetcher's another.
Interesting. I don't know if I've ever heard a guy be like, "Oh yeah, fucking Troy Stetcher, let's go." That's the first time I've heard that. But
He's young. He's only like second year in the league or third year in the league. He's still pretty young. But
yeah.
Nick likes the weird ones. Do you guys remember?
I'm trying to think of some of the obscure players I've liked throughout the years.
Zajac.
Zajac, yeah. Zajak's the big one.
He's not that obscure, yeah.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember Goodlevskis?
Oh yeah.
I don't know where he ended up.
Where did he go?
But
I remember him.
He did really well for the like national team, whatever it was, like Latvia or something.
Latvia, yeah. And then I think he snagged a couple playoff games against the Habs, and that's why I don't like him.
Yeah, on the Lightning. Yeah, he played really well, and I was like, "Oh, sweet."
Yeah. Yeah, if only the Habs could have, or if the Lightning could have Anders Lindback in their goal every time they played the Habs, that would be nice.
Yeah. Not anymore, Madalika.
That sweep, that only happened because of him. He was so bad.
That's what I'm saying, dude. We did not have good goalies. Gosh darn it. Okay, the West.
The West.
The West, you know what? About. The West is the boring one.
Why is it boring?
Because it's
exactly
what we thought it would be.
Yeah, what is it?
Exactly
Golden
what
Knights, Avalanche.
Those top three that we all had, basically, they're in the top four. And it's a 6-point gap between 4 and 5. So it's not out of reach, especially with only division games, but
Minnesota's still doing things though.
Minnesota's still there.
Kirill Kaprizov, I'm telling you. He's been good for me in fantasy, and he's been good for the Minnesota Wild.
You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it.
I picked up their goalie, too.
So Minnesota's been doing really well, but they I watched the Saturday game yesterday, the Avs and the Wild. The Avs were
friggin' right.
Were like they dominated the game. And again, I obviously like it's one game. And it is the Avs exactly. But
I got some good points from that game.
I think the announcers in that game were saying something along the lines of towards the end of it, they were like, yeah, the Avs are dominating this game, and they think that a better matchup for Minnesota come playoffs would be the Vegas Golden Knights instead of the Avs. They just feel Minnesota matches up better, and
I'm playing better.
I don't know. I'm not really sure why. I guess it's
not all that much defensive structure to the Golden Knights. They just are always burning 110% going one direction.
True.
That's fair.
But who knows? I don't know. Playoffs are weird.
Yeah.
I'm ready for us all to fill out our brackets.
Playoffs are weird, Ben. I agree. Playoffs are very weird, regardless of the sport. Because little plug for some college hoops right now. There's been some big time upsets, and it's looking like they're
going down.
Yeah, and Oral Roberts is playing Florida right now in a close game, but there's been 5 or 6 very considerable upsets over the last 2 days, and it's like, holy fuck.
I'll say it to you because you'll probably be the one that gets it. You know the TikTok trend where it's got like the obviously overpowered thing, like just standing there with music in the background, and then it switches to somebody going like this?
Mm-hmm.
I saw one where it was Ohio State was the first one, and then the second one was Blowjob Bob University. Oral Roberts.
Oh God.
I think that's probably my favorite meme about March Madness.
Who named that? So who named that school?
I don't know. It's named after a dude because I laughed about it. His first name was Oral. So who named that kid? I guess we should ask.
Who named that poor child?
Yeah.
My God, he must have been picked on so much.
But yeah, Erik, exactly. Oral Roberts was the big one first night. There was a couple last night, a couple late games last night that were like, wow. Because I woke up this morning and I was like, I did not expect that. And then Syracuse actually, they took down West Virginia today, and they weren't expected to win that game either. So
I have to ask, Nick, is your bracket, is it ruined?
Funny enough, no. So I didn't actually, no.
You didn't picking the upsets, bud?
Hold on. I actually didn't write a bracket.
Wait,
this
I was gonna say. No, it's not because I don't have one.
1 second. Going back to Oral for 1 second. His first name was actually Granville. He decided to go with Oral as his middle name, He decided to use that.
So
and it gets funnier because he was a fucking televangelist. He was a TV preacher.
So this dude's name was Granville Oral Roberts.
Yeah.
And he said, "Praise be."
It's the most old Southern name I've ever heard in my life.
Praise be to Oral.
Praise be to blowjobs.
What the frig, dude? That's funny.
So back to my bracket thing. No, so I didn't. I actually forgot to write one this year. I always do. I just didn't think about it this year. There's a lot going on with the move and everything. I forgot about it. And would I have picked these teams? Probably not. But I very much enjoy watching like upsets happen because like these big. I like. Regardless of the sport, I like to see different teams win every year. I don't want to see Ohio State and Virginia or Ohio State and Kansas every single fucking year.
Upsets are always fun as long as your team's not involved.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I don't have enough skin in the game to like be super committed to a college basketball team. Like Syracuse is probably my favorite, but like if they lose, I don't really care. I really enjoy watching that team just because it's like local-ish, but. Besides that, like all the other teams, I don't care about. So almost every game I go into, I'm like, I hope this team wins. I hope this team upsets. And
wins.
Like we talked about it earlier today. Loyola, it was earlier in this podcast. I think maybe it was right before we went on. Illinois was a number 1 seed, I believe. They lost to an 8 seed today, and that was a good game. Like I haven't watched any college hoops at all. March Madness comes, I am glued to my TV watching every single game I can.
Yeah, that was always. I always liked watching March Madness when I could, but now I just don't have TV, and
I just remembered
stream. Yeah, I just remember doing it in high school too. Like for a while, I didn't watch it in college at all, but I remember in high school we used to because this is like musical time in high school, right? So we used to just like hang out, and we would hang out in like the band room, and just everybody was watching March Madness on their phones. During I remember I did it during class. I would wedge my phone, between my knees and the bottom of the desk, that little rail right there. So I just wedged my phone or my iPod in there.
Wow.
Just watch games all class long.
Wow, you wedging your original iPod Touch?
Ooh, the OG.
Oh yeah,
Throwback. I've got mine. Mine's floating around somewhere here. I don't know where, but
with that reference, we're old, man. Fuck.
Yeah, think about that. Sort of are.
No, but like,
here, you want to feel even older?
iPod Touch. Why wouldn't you just use your smartphone, guys?
Just use your touch. You just use your phone.
Want to feel even older? Now, if you walk into a bar, all the person has to see is the 19 at the beginning.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I saw that the other day. When we went to we went to Danielle's. I went to Danielle's hometown, and we went to a little spot that had they brew their own beer and stuff, and you could try it. And the sign said 2000. It was like, if you're born before this date in 2000. Weird, man. I was like, oh my days. It's happened.
I've just been seeing the 19 something after that for so long. It's like, what? Pardon?
That's very weird.
I'm that ancient. Sorry, what?
Yeah, that's right, dude.
I'm a fossil.
Okay. What did I miss?
I'm a fossil. Next, that's hard.
Yeah, I was watching and I was like, what's this?
Erik just starts to chuckle up there.
Some archaeology.
Hey, you're not that old, buddy. You're not that old.
Or paleontologist.
He's the oldest in the call, though, is he not?
He's the oldest in the call, but weirdly, aren't you the youngest, Ben? With your full-on beard? That's so weird to me.
Month of beard action right here.
Ben is the youngest. Nick is the oldest, and is also the youngest in maturity level. Very nice.
Fuck you,
guys. All right, so guys, I went to the driving range yesterday, and
was at the driving range.
Friggin' right. And let me tell you, it was like mid 50s, sunny, no wind. Oh, it was beautiful. dude. I'm so excited for warm
Did you?
weather.
Was it the one over where we played that one time?
Yeah, it was the one where we played. But they had because it was warm. There's upper tees farthest from the building. They have a tee up there, so I actually got to hit off of grass, which is nice because hitting off of those mats sucks.
I heard Mohawk River is supposed to be opening up this week.
Is it? Friggin'.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Continue.
No,
Really
but
like
I was.
Mohawk River,
Let
eh?
me tell you, if I can do what I was doing on that range with my driver, you guys are boned.
Oh,
It was.
good times?
I had like 5 drives at least that went like a foot off line of what I was aiming. They were going so straight and so far. I did not understand it.
Good for you, dude.
But yeah, it won't. I'll end up first tee. I'll slice it into the trees. That's how it goes.
At least you can get the ball up though. That must be nice.
I actually have a golfing expedition from this weekend. I had invite from Mr. Coppola and Mancari. We played down at Next Gen for like an hour yesterday afternoon. And that was the first time I've gotten my clubs in my hand this year. And it was a little weird. I was hitting pretty straight drives. I had a couple that were like
little like 180 turns.
But like, I'm kind of slowing things down and like trying to focus on get some hip twist here. And if I noticeably twist my hips, my follow through, it's hitting them pretty good straight.
Okay.
So
nice.
Even with the driver.
Very nice, bud. Very nice. I'm doing some virtual golf this weekend, so I'll have something to talk about.
So
next week.
You'll probably notice the same thing I did. We all have the same exact complaint about it. Is Shot Trace is saying like, okay, you typically hit like an 8-iron, like what 150s ish maybe. I don't know.
Oh, not me.
I don't remember my yardages. Let's just say for the sake of this conversation, you hit a 8-iron 150.
Yeah.
You step up to those tees and you're like, no, because it's saying it's going like 120 or something like that. So Shot Trace is not exact on those.
Yeah, there's some that are better than others. Like there's one really good one that all the pros use, Flight Scope maybe. But yeah, some of the like systems work better than others. You know what I kind of want to talk about right now between the three of us who golf. Eric, I hate to cut you out, but
oh no, it's okay.
Sometimes
I know
he did golf that one time, and it was fun. He almost hit me actually. Almost hit me with a ball. That was fun.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Remember when we gave him that exploding ball?
You remember when you gave me the exploding ball and I couldn't even hit that straight? Like I skimmed it. It wasn't even.
Well, it exploded off the tee, man.
It did explode off the tee. No, but like I didn't hit it like dead on. Like it exploded off the tee, but I kind of like just like
for the viewers,
like,
there was no explosive powder in said ball. It was just a shell that explodes into a poof of dust.
Oh yeah.
My shins didn't get torn up or anything.
It wasn't a TNT golf ball.
Nah. Just kidding. So there actually was TNT inside. It blew up and blew Eric's leg off.
So I would like to know. I would like to hear from people in the comments. Does anyone else hit super short with their clubs? Because I have to. If we have a par 3 and it's like 135 yards, I have to hit a 7-iron.
I mean, that's not like I would probably take my 8. That's not crazy short. I mean,
but
we're
taking
so
short
for most people. Actually, we're just not that awesome with it.
I mean, Christ, you guys watch like these pros who take it an 8-iron and hit it like 170. Like man, are you? No way.
Shit.
Yeah, yeah, I don't get it. I just
see
like
them taking like a 5-iron, like 240 yards. I'm like,
oh yeah, yeah.
Like,
I'm
fuck off.
Like if I could do that, my days.
Yeah.
Granted, that's their job. They play every day of the week.
true.
They
That's
should.
very true.
They
But
play some golf, guys. I don't know if you know this,
do,
but
they do.
they're playing a few rounds a year.
they are professionals. They get paid to
I
play
think
that game.
They play at least 6 rounds a year, I think. I think 6 is at least.
At least, yeah, at least. So Nick,
Yeah.
So you played last weekend or this weekend, like yesterday?
2 days ago, Saturday.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yesterday. Sorry.
Yesterday.
Yep,
Okay. So, do you notice? Is your right hamstring sore?
No, it was more. No, honestly, no.
Huh.
I don't have a lot of like you have a lot more hip twists than me, so I understand how you would. I'm having more shoulder issues. Like I walked out of there yesterday, and my right shoulder blade was killing me.
Interesting. Shoulder blade.
You know what that could be? Were you slamming your clubs? Were you coming down super steep and hitting the club into the?
Not really. No, I was kind of. I remember you and I talked a couple weekends ago. I was kind of just focusing on trying to keep like my swing path on my irons a lot smoother.
Mhm.
I wasn't swinging it awfully hard. I didn't try anyway. Try to, but maybe I don't know. I didn't have anything like recording me, but yeah, I walked out of there. I was like, God, my shoulders are sore.
Yeah, I get for some reason my back leg, which is my left leg, the hamstring gets super sore after I play golf. I don't know why. It's very weird. Yeah. So
wait, would that be because that's like the one that like twists and
that
the
is
foot
the
goes
one
up?
that's the one that is the one you do the ballerina tippy toe with at the end. So that could be it.
Maybe you got to do yourself a little bit of stretching before you go
man,
out.
I've been doing yoga. You forget I've been doing yoga?
Getting all
Still
stretched
doing
out
that?
there.
I'm getting limber.
Good for you.
It's good for you too. I'm just saying in general, like
Cool.
you're gonna have a lot better like ability to rotate on like
That's what I'm hoping.
back and through. Where like I'm standing up there yesterday, consciously trying to get some hip twist in there. And I'm like, God, I don't have much mobility in my hips. It's like very limited.
So I don't know if you flare your feet, but if you flare that front foot, that helps you twist a little bit more.
I just like remember the tip I always heard was feel like somebody's like it's feeling like somebody's pulling on your belt loop that's off your hip right there.
Oh, okay.
Backwards. That's how I always kind of try to make it feel, but it's hard because like once you start thinking about, okay, I'm gonna do this with my hips. You start thinking
too much.
Now I need to do this with my hips and forget about everything I need to do with my wrists on the follow through.
You start thinking too much and you can't hit the ball.
Yep.
So yeah, we've got some more cookies to talk about, gentlemen.
Some more cookies.
Some more cookies, and I'm
ready.
I am the one.
It's got the props.
I am the one that has the props, and will be doing the trying live. Because
so, ladies and gentlemen, the debate for this week, episode 20, is Chips Ahoy, crunchy, or chewy.
Crunchy, otherwise known just as original.
Yeah, I was looking. Here's the thing: I am not a Chips Ahoy guy, so I was looking for crunchy Chips Ahoy. I was like, dude, there's no crunchy ones. And then Danielle was like, it's just the original. I was like, oh, okay.
So before we get into this, I would just like to say, out of all of the original styled crunchy Chips Ahoy, I like the chunky chocolate chip one. I think it comes in a brown plastic container.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite of the crunchy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say crunchy all the way, forever and all. The chewy one.
Okay, I'm gonna give crunchy a try.
Crunchy as well.
I'm gonna give crunchy.
I haven't made a decision. I'm gonna let Mike taste test these first. That's a chewy.
No.
Oh, really?
Broke apart.
Really?
Weird.
I broke apart, bruh. What do you mean? Well,
it's a
shit. It's not raising it up. I was hoping to pick up my crunching.
No, you gotta put your mouth directly in front of the mic as soon as you put it in. Put the other half in. There we go.
We got it. We got it.
All right. I mean,
You can't make a decision yet. You haven't had a chewy.
Well, let me tell you what I think about this
comment
cookie,
on this
all right?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean,
So I remember you saying last week you don't like cookies because you're not a big sweet guy.
Not a
you
cookie
enjoy
guy.
something with a saltier kick. Would you say that a crunchy Chips Ahoy has some salt laid in there that you can like satisfy your salt crave with? Because I think so personally, but like,
no, not really.
no.
I just get all
not
sweet
that I
out
noticed.
of it.
Not that I noticed. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about those. I don't like the mess because it makes a big mess unless you shove the whole thing in your mouth.
It does kind of crumb all over. Yeah, that's the one.
So
Yeah,
Nick, you might remember was the Chips Ahoy crunchy? Was that what Cody fed to Andrea that one night?
I wasn't there.
Or Mike?
I wasn't there either, but I've heard this story a million times, and it was Oreos.
Okay.
A million times.
I'm pretty sure it was Dylan.
It might have been
that Dylan was there.
Any
yeah.
combo people up there, but interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Cody, if you're watching us, what was it?
Did you feed her Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Or was it something else? So anyway, I got the Chewy now. I think I'm gonna like this one more because there's gonna be less mess. But
that one does have a different flavor profile to it a little bit.
Yeah, the original are better. This doesn't even taste like anything. What the frig? I do not even taste a thing with this.
Chewies are gross.
Yep.
Oh my god, dude.
Chewies have their time. Listen, Chewies have their time and place, but if you don't mind a little bit of crumb mess, OG crunchies or chunky chunk chip ones,
you just shove the whole thing in your mouth at once.
That's not bad. Yeah, I think the original.
All right.
4 for 4.
So now, what is next week's? Because I want to be taste tester next week. So pick us a dessert.
You want to be
for next week,
dude?
Let's go. It doesn't have to be dessert. It could be anything.
Let's go. You know what I saw and I wanted to do it. Like Little Debbie treats.
Ooh,
let's pick some. Let's pick some here. Let's pick some
two
Little
to
Debbie
pick
treats
from
right now.
There's really only 2 to pick from.
Yeah, but I want to put 3. I want to put 3 in.
3. There are 3 to pick from. Swiss rolls.
Yep.
If you don't say cosmic brownies, I'm gonna punch
you. Cosmic brownies.
Okay, if you don't say what I want you to say.
Actually, if we're talking about those snack cakes, there are way too many to do on this list because there's different levels.
What's your elite top
3? Swiss rolls, cosmic brownies, and the Hostess cupcakes.
Ooh, the cupcakes.
You gotta get zebra cakes in there though.
I think zebra cakes too.
Yeah, I agree. But like then there's like Star Crunch and Twinkies and like there's a bunch of other ones that are like Twinkies aren't that good.
Twinkies are so gross, dude.
Well, I disagree, but okay. Then you have the pink snowballs. The pink snowballs are pretty good too if you like coconut. I know Mike. I don't think Mike does.
Nope.
I like coconut. I like the snowballs.
Before we get off onto a dessert cakes tangent too much, do we want to do fantasy before we wrap up?
Oh yeah.
Oh sure. Let's do it. So
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead, Eric. How's your team doing, bud?
He's been holding down that 8th.
And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. So
I'll go. I made a blunder. I made a blunder last night. I did not set my roster.
He did make a blunder. I saw it.
I kept some goalies on the bench, and I kept Draisaitl and Wheeler on my bench.
He missed out on a whole lot of points.
Yeah, you only missed out on 18-ish, 19-ish points, which I mean, it's enough. But
it probably would have stopped Mike's mom from leapfrogging me last night.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, she had 70 more points or 60, 70 more points, 80 more points than you.
But night. I am now running a 4 goalie squad. I picked up Thatcher Demko. Yep, shit. I picked up Thatcher Demko last night.
He's going with the full goalie tandem.
Goalies get you the most points.
They can if they play. They definitely do. So the current ranking is my dad in first, my mom in second, Nick in third, me in fourth. I'm 378 behind first. Nick is 280 behind first. I don't think I'm catching. I don't think I'm going to catch anybody.
I'm
we'll
just been slowly sneaking up on you there, bud.
Yeah, Ben's trying to catch up to me. I
made up 16 points on you today, unless Klingberg popped up. No,
Klingberg could do something for me, which would be nice.
He still does something, maybe not, but I've just been chipping away. I made up points on everybody last night. It was only 0.5 points on your mom, but
yeah, my team has
Ben's playing
really
the
bad.
ride the hot hand player type season.
He's been
dropping 38 moves.
Yeah, 38 moves. Wow. My mom has 0.
Your dad has 1.
Yeah, 3. He's got 3 now.
Oh.
But yeah, my mom has 0 because the one thing she did was made a trade with me, and I guess trades don't count as moves.
Hey Ben, could you tell your buddy Joey to please look at his trades? I've had one queued up for him and he won't respond.
Yeah, I don't think he's gotten on the app in a while. Down in last place.
That's funny.
Oh, Joey. He is almost a full 1,000 points behind first.
Yeah. He's 907 points back. That's
He's been really busy. I don't think he's been paying attention to that.
A rough one.
That's bullshit. Commit your time.
There's always at least one every year.
There's always one. Surprisingly, we still have people surprisingly Danielle is still keeping up with it. Ben, I'm surprised you're still keeping up with it. To be honest,
I figured I'm trying, man. I figured.
Well, yeah, and that's good because you probably end up catching me with the way my team's been.
I mean, think about it this way: like your dad was a couple hundred points behind me and you for a while, and then he just
slowly,
sneakily snuck right up there and shoved it up us.
I think I
didn't enjoy it.
175 points back from you right now, Mike.
Yeah,
right there, and then I'm 150 plus 125, about 275 points behind you, Nicholas, which is a bit of a tall order, but I gained. What is that, like 80 points on you last night? So if I keep doing that.
I haven't had any big nights. I'm still sitting on some guys. Like Gaudreau's playing pretty good, but he's not like a massive fantasy scorer. Blake Wheeler's not fantasy points guy right now. Like he seemed to be in the past, but he's not that guy this year anyway. So I'm sitting on him hoping that okay, Blake Wheeler has such a good rep. He's gotta turn it around. He's gonna turn it around. Put him in. He gets me a half a point. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, there's luck of the draw for sure. Friggin', I put Saturday. There were so many games on Saturday. I think everybody had a full lineup. So we had to pick people who we were gonna bench and who we weren't. And I was like, Stamkos has not been doing much recently, so I benched him, and I forget who I had in there. I had Marner, Svechnikov, Clayton Keller, and Brian Rust were the wingers, and 3 of the 4 of them did really well. And then Mitch Marner got 5 points or less. And Stamkos had 15 points because he got a goal and assist. And I was like,
oh no!
I did really well with my benching choices last night. I had to bench 2 people, and I missed out on half a point.
Yeah, that was good.
Nice, dude.
That never happens.
Oh yeah. Also, I didn't get. I had 0 goalies play for me on Saturday, so I had 89 points. With no goalies.
I think I had 3 of my 4 goalies. Well, I still had Darcy Kemper on my team at that point, but I had 3 of my 4 goalies playing. 3 of my 4 goalies teams playing. 2 weren't playing, and the other one was on my bench. Also, while we're talking, I just want to make a plug. I've been watching the Oral Roberts Florida game, and 15 seed Oral Roberts has just upset 7 seed Florida.
Dude, they're
81-78.
Get the
Oral Roberts moves on to the Sweet 16.
University for the win, baby.
They're going all the way.
Moving on to the Sweet 16.
All the way. Oral for everyone.
So back to the snack cakes discussion. I
thought we were saving this for next week.
We will, but personally, I have a major bias towards a lot of these. So like, I don't know if I want to be the person to do this.
Well, what do you mean? It's just a debate.
I was gonna taste test them on air. I can.
Well, I'll taste test some too.
All right. If you guys can think to get them, then we'll all do them. That'd be fun.
You guys want to pick 4, and then we can all try and get one each.
Snack time with the boys.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Snack time with the boys.
We're renaming. We are renaming that segment to Snack Time with the Boys.
Snack time with the boys.
I'm just gonna take cosmic brownies because I just buy those normally anyway. So.
Everybody pick one of the 4. So Ben's taking cosmic. So I think
Swiss rolls.
I think what? Swiss rolls, cupcakes, and zebra cakes, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever you want. Pick your favorite.
I'll do the
cupcakes. Pick your own. Pick your own Little Debbie champion.
Nick's a Swiss roll guy, and I'm a zebra cake guy, so I'll do the zebra cakes.
Cupcakes.
Eric is not a junk food type person. So.
Guy.
Me? Oh no. I mean, it depends. Yeah, just like but not like I don't know, just like every once in a while. All right. Cookies though, I really like cookies. That's like my go-to.
I want to just throw this out there. Oatmeal screamers. We forgot about those too. Oatmeal cream pies.
Oh, okay. Screamers! I never heard them called that.
Yeah, same. That's pretty good.
Those are great too.
Good. I'll give
the amount of those and fudge rounds that I ate at Dylan's house in my childhood. Oh my goodness!
And the Mountain Dew we drank.
Do you guys remember what they called oatmeal cream pies?
Oh no!
I don't.
Suckling barf cakes. That's what they called them.
I don't remember that at all. Wait,
I now that you say it, I remember it.
Yep.
What was the reasoning?
No idea. No idea.
They called them suckling barf cakes?
I have no idea why, but that is what they called them.
Also, how don't we all have diabetes with the amount of sugar we consumed and all the time
So I'm gonna tell you this right now. You say that now, but there will be an age where if you keep up with those habits, it will hit you like a truck.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm saying the way we consumed then. Whenever we were over,
kids are less. I feel like kids are less. They have a higher metabolism, so it just goes through.
We were polishing off like 30 bricks of Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew,
at night, like collective.
Friggin' right,
dude. I remember, you remember under Dylan's, it was in his dresser. There was one drawer, in his dresser. I remember just stacking fucking cans.
Oh yeah,
right. We just stacked cans, and it would be easy for us to each have 2 or 3 that night while we were there. So if there was 4 of us there, we would just drink 15 Mountain Dews. What the fuck?
Yeah, we drank a lot of soda back in the day.
I mean, then we just run it all off playing Manhunt out in his lawn.
Oh my gosh,
that
was so
orchard
fun.
Was prime Manhunt
dude,
spot.
At night at 2, especially if there was no moon, you could just lay down.
Oh yeah,
and they wouldn't see you.
That and then up at the lake was pretty good for it too because you had a lot more cover that you could use between the 3 lawns
and the water.
Did we ever have anybody actually get underwater?
Navy SEAL.
Just take a straw and just
their eyes are above water. There's a little straw sticking out.
Oh no, fully underwater. Just the
tip of the straw. This tip of the straw just dips under the water and just.
Oh no.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh, fun times.
All right, let's wrap it up, boys.
Yeah, I think we've been rambling long enough now.
Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, episode 21.
Damn, 21. Look at us go.
Yep.
Who would have thought? Not me.
And I'll be in a new location.
Oh shit, new apartment, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. Hopefully I have internet set up before then.
Yeah.
You can come down here, bud.